Hi everyone, good evening, namaste, this is Ekta. I just wanted to check if I'm audible. There has been a lot of network issue. I'm just trying to see if I'm audible and visible. Hi Pallavi, good evening. I just wanted to check if I'm audible. Hi Pooja, good evening. We've been experiencing a lot of network issues today. There was heavy rain and a lot of breeze, and it was windy, not breeze. Oh, perfect. Thanks, Pooja. Thank you so much. So I would not be wasting a lot of time. I would just go on with today's discussion. Why am I here? So good evening, everyone. This is Ekta. I am director of Dr. Paras Wellness. Namaste. And I'm a mental strength professional too. So I welcome you to another session by our team Mental Strength Professional. So to begin with, I would like to say something about us. Who are we and what do we do? So we are a team of coaches. We are a team of counselors, hypnotherapists, NLP practitioners, mindfulness practitioners. And we aim at building mental toughness in people. So far, the journey has been really, really interesting. And I thank you for all your support and feedback. You have really helped us to shape our ideas. Thank you so much. Last week, one of our mental strength professionals, she shared about a very interesting topic about how to create an emotional nest during pregnancy to experience joyful pregnancy. And the response has been terrific. So kudos to that. Let's quickly move on to our today's discussion. So our today's discussion is with one of the very the session is with Dr. Paras. What do I tell more about him? Let me just get him in the room. Just a minute.
Hi all. Namaste. Namaste, Ekta.
Hi Paras. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. I'm very, very happy that I have you in the same frame along with me. It's fantastic. So we have Pooja, we have Pallavi who have joined us.
Hey Pallavi. Hi Pooja. Good evening.
So I'm not going to brag much about you. So Dr. Paras is the person who is behind the idea of mental strength professional. He is the director of Dr. Paras Wellness. Paras, is my voice echoing?
No, you're very clear. It's just sometimes it goes a little low, but it's fine. It's going really well. Yeah.
All right. So let's quickly move on with our today's discussion. So Paras is here and he would be talking about a very delicate but a hard-hitting topic, that is recovering from rejection. Yes, none of us are immune to rejection. We have experienced a rejection at different levels in life, so be it on personal front or professional front, also on social front. It's when we hit our lows, that's where it impacts the most. The dialogues that we tell ourselves, sometimes it becomes very, very difficult for us to keep up the internal communication that happens. And yes, sometimes it really impacts our confidence level as well as our self-esteem. So yes, I personally look forward to understand more about rejection today and how to deal with it. So Paras, over to you. I'm going to go offline now, and the session is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Ekta. And a warm welcome to everybody out here. And thank you, namaste to everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to the people in different parts of the world. And thank you for joining this beautiful session on how do we recover rejection, or how do we recover from rejection. A very sensitive topic. Just imagine the moment we hear the word rejection, what happens to us. Like for me right now, it's like, okay, there's some sort of thing in my chest and it's telling me, oh my God, what is this? Because rejection plays a very vital role in our lives and shaping our personality, because we've been perceiving rejection in a particular way and coping with that in a particular format, and that shapes our personality and has a deeper impact on our leadership role or different roles that you play in your life. Today in this session and this forum, I wish to cover about what is rejection and its impact on the body, on the mind, because it's like body and mind is one representational system. Whatever impacts your body impacts your mind. Whatever impacts your mind impacts your body. So it's like if it impacts A, it's going to be impacting B, and if it impacts B, it's going to impact A. So it's very important to know and address and learn and relearn, or just get an awareness on the same. Also, I'd like to cover about how rejection we experience in our family system. So many times, a lot of our rejections, memories, events come from our childhood experiences. So I wish to talk a little bit about that. Then rejections in relationships. Yeah, that hurts. Yes, it does, but it's important to understand, relate. Also, self-rejection. A lot of time, people knowingly, unknowingly, do a lot of self-rejection with severe criticisms about themselves and certain meanings they have made about their life, about themselves and their relationship with their whole environment. And also I'd like to cover a lot about how men and women experience it differently. Also rejection in social groups, that's something very critical, and it stays much longer, and it's burning. So also rejection at workplace, yeah, a lot of politics and a lot of meanings that we make about these politics. But let's really understand how do we experience these rejections at different stages of our life, at different platforms, and how does it have an impact on us at social level, psychological level, survival level, and existential level. But the focus is not just about understanding rejection. The focus is mainly about how do we recover? How do you want to recover from the rejection and want to come across in life as a winner? So I have some questions for you to ponder today. Maybe the first question that I would like to ask you is, what does rejection mean to you? Just pause for a while and ask yourself, what does this rejection word mean to you, and how does that stay in your body, mind? How does it make you feel? Maybe a good exercise could be think about a time in your life when you felt rejected. Maybe in a social setup or office or relationship, when you were either ignored or just said no directly on the face value. Or if you wish to dig deeper, think about a time in your life when you were rejected in your family for something. Maybe you were discounted to be a little child, or maybe rejected primarily in your early childhood, could be by your teachers or your friends. And if you remember them, or if you have any events, how does that make you feel today when you just access them? How does it have an impact on you today, in your beliefs, in the way you think about yourself or your thoughts, your expressions, and your ability to experience your emotions? Just take that pause and check and feel. If you feel comfortable, you can always put it in a comment section there, or you can chat with us, live chat. Also think further how it has impacted your confidence level, your self-esteem, your communication skills, or your leadership role, or different roles that you play in your life. And the most importantly, when you felt rejected, what is the belief that you made about your own self? And that is something which is so critical to address, to know more. We tend to run away. We tend to stay away from them. We tend to ignore it. But then if you don't address it, it's like you lock the lion in the room, and when you open the door, what happens? It's right there in front of you. It can trigger you anytime. So, how do we define rejection? Rejection is a feeling of being dismissed, impacting the person's ability to feel not good on social, psychological, survival, and existential level. And remember, feeling rejected is very common. However, every individual feels very differently and gets impacted in a very different way. So it varies a lot more from how the person has been conditioned, right from his schooling, family system, gender, culture, lifestyle, all of that. And also let's remember that we all are human beings. We love to be acknowledged. So when we're not acknowledged, we feel rejected. It's like a stimulus hunger. We all human need to be recognized. We're born to be acknowledged. If you remember the movie Castaway, if there is nobody around us, we would be completely going crazy. And that's how Tom Hanks creates a character and keeps communicating. So we all need acknowledgement. We all need to be accepted. We need to be acknowledged. And when it is not in proportion or it's disproportionately experienced, felt, it has a deeper impact on ourselves. We may feel even depressed, sad, nervous, or maybe feeling very low about ourselves, or demeaning ourselves, or low on confidence and self-esteem. Also, a lot of constant worry of external validation. Am I good enough? Or am I a good boy or a good girl? Or any other gender that you associate yourself with? Or constant rejection. Or feeling rejected can also lead to trauma and anxiety and stress. Further, can also get into borderline personality disorder. Can also have a lot of trust issues. So feeling rejected or dejected can also have an impact on our hormones. Yeah, that's another interesting part to talk about. When we are happy and content, let's say, think about a time in your life when you were very happy and you were with your loved ones, with your family members, with your friends. How did you feel? So when you're happy and content with a particular situation or relationship, our body releases great amount of phenethylamine, dopamine, and oxytocin. When rejection pops up, our brain, instead of releasing these hormones, starts soaking them up. Our brains too go through this transitional phase and bears clear sign on our physical health. So some of the physical health could be body aches. These hormones changes and makes the body go into a fight or flight mode. And we tend to cope up with that environment. And many other physical manifestations could be indigestion, headache, or heartache, withdrawal, leading to isolating self randomly, feeling irritable constantly, or anger issues and sleeplessness. So I'm going to take a pause here and just want to check in with you all if you're all comfortable moving forward. Thank you. Also, just a recap of what we spoke right now is what is rejection and its impact on the body and mind. Now, also let's learn about rejection at personal fronts in the context of feeling rejected by family. Yeah, there's a lot of history here. Our childhood experiences, learnings, play a very vital role in shaping our personality. But remember, each child may not be exposed to a healthy family unit or environment during their developmental stages. Rejection experience in childhood can lead to multiple feelings. One of the most scary feeling is feeling abandoned. Yeah, the abandonment of feeling with a child is when the family members, the biological parents or family members are not available to acknowledge the child and by physically or emotionally stroking or communicating or being available. The child may feel rejected, the child may have multiple meanings because of the limited awareness and family and parents being the God. It's always the rejection picks up at a very early childhood. Or maybe you may be in the one roof and your parents may be very busy, or some of them are divorced, or there is communication issues within them, can also lead the child feeling abandoned, of not being available, or parents not having time to spend because of their busy schedules. And intentionally, it may not be a parent's agenda to do that, but that's how child feels rejected. Also, lack of belongingness. Some of the family members may think good for the child and say that he needs to go to the boarding school or go to higher educations, needs to go out of the country or out of the state, a better school. Knowingly, unknowingly, the child may feel rejected from the birth or biological parents, feeling that I'm not belonging here, or I cannot connect here, or nobody loves me. Also, the expectations, like you make certain choices in your life and then you tend to repent and have a lot of guilt and regrets about, did I take that right decision? Or if the decision went wrong, oh, they told me that I shouldn't have done that. So feeling again a sense of rejection from the family system or from your family culture. If you're coming from a joint family, a lot of people who take decisions which may go against their family, maybe in talking about doing a business or a relationship, or could be taking certain decisions which is against the tradition of the family, may also feel rejected by the whole family, or because of their own, because of the family disapproval towards the children. Also, the generation gap. So sometimes if you're in a joint family or you're in a family where you have a lot of people of different generations, or maybe your parents are much older and you were late born. So there are times when certain needs are not met, either by the elderly people or by the child, may also feel a lot of rejection, of not being heard. So there are so many reasons where one could feel rejected and feel not okay about themselves. But the point here is, how do we work on it? Okay, I am 36 today, I'm 25 today, I'm 48 today, I'm 60 today, I'm 18 today, I'm watching this video. What is it for me? So there are certain solutions that I felt that we could offer and see if that helps you to survive in this space. One is to talk it out. Yeah, but it sounds very easy to say that, perhaps, but my system, my family structure is very complex. Yes, everything is complex, the way I condition my brain to be. But it's very important to take that risk, that leap of faith, that first step to go and talk to your parents, talk to your loved ones, have a heart-to-heart conversations. So there could be difficult conversations, or maybe making you feel not okay. There could be guilt to address. There could be tears not to hold back. If it's a need to apologize, apologize. Just talk it out. It's just a matter of how ready I am and how much I want to connect to my family. Because at the end of the day, family has a lot of roots to the way we are formed today, the way we think today. There are positives and also not okay feelings. Second is compromise, like something about your family members you don't like. You are not happy and you feel rejected by that or disapproved by that. It's important to check with some sort of, or we call it as where you could measure both the aspects and see what is more important for you. So equity theory of motivation brings me that too. So check it out, the pros and cons, and what is important and what you would like to balance. So if it's need to compromise, let's compromise in relationship with family members. Or maybe family counseling. Yeah. but our dirty laundries, I don't want to share that. Or in my family, we have deep secrets and dark secrets. We don't want to talk to a third person. But it is good to have a neutral view about the way we are thinking. Maybe a neutral view from a third person who doesn't know anything about us can be good to learn a different standpoint and learn and see what could be done there. Or even walkouts, that's another option. Yeah, sometimes if you feel that your choice is not acknowledged or your choice is more important to you and your family members are not supporting that, rather than self-sabotaging yourself, getting angry and upset and doing something which further be detrimental to you and your family, is good to walk out. Or maybe another point that comes to me is give time. Yeah, the elderly people say that time heals everything. And I feel, and I experience in my own life as well, that it all goes with time. It all comes with time. So our memory is short-lived. So we don't need to. It naturally, our brain has represses memories which are not important, and over a period of time they fade away. So if you have that patience to be where, maybe it's good to give some time. Time heals everything, and time can mend all wounds and differences. So yeah, so these are certain solutions you can check. Maybe some may apply, some may not apply. All may apply, all may not apply. But now you got some choices, some resources, and also some options to explore and decide further what you want to do next. So I'm going to take a quick pause here and see if you have any questions.
Hi, Paris. So far, we don't have many questions. So we are going great. I think that you've been sharing. One of my personal favorite thing that stays with me is what you mentioned about hormones. You shared about how our body releases greater amount of dopamine and oxytocin, if I'm not wrong. It's also known as love hormone. When we are happy, how it is released in our body. And the moment when we get rejected or we experience rejection, how our body, instead of creating it, it tries to soak it. That's what you mentioned, if I'm not wrong. Very,
Yes.
very beautiful point that you mentioned, just to understand what happens in our brain and in our body at a physical level when we experience rejection. Uh, Beautiful insights there. I have a quick question, Bharat, if you don't mind. See, now I would never understand when I'm going to face rejection. However, how about understanding ways to naturally produce this hormone dopamine? What can I do to have this hormone in my body more, or rather, what are the ways of increasing this hormone naturally? If you could let us know.
Sure, there's a lot of research on this and a lot of content is available on the net. Something that I would love to share with you is dopamine is a chemical that gives us a get up and go, like it motivates us and gives us a reason to get the job done. So like I call it as more like an internal stimulus, an internal stirrer. And some of the ways that you can increase dopamine naturally is to eat rich food which has tyrosine, like almonds, bananas, avocados, beans, or exercise regularly. Yeah, like exercise, like literally physical, emotional exercise. So when it comes to physical exercise, you could do many ways today. There are so many online classes that you see, or even without any equipment, you can do some exercise. As simple as that, yoga is one of the best ways, yogasanas and different pranayamas. If you're able to do, it's a combination of physical, a beautiful experience of grounding. You're on the peak of your space and all of a sudden you can fall down. So So if you're doing exercise and meditation on a regular basis, it helps you to heal your body. It helps you to recover. It helps you to pause. And it helps your brain actually to learn how to hold and contain that emotion of being rejected. Also, research shows that in order to increase dopamine is to get a massage. Massage is something that I recommend people highly because when you're in a massage therapy, you're exactly like a child being there, and your massager is supporting you like a parent and taking care of your physical part of the body, giving you de-stressing, stressing, releasing all your stress, and helping your body to heal. It's like one of the positive strokes. Like when we hug somebody, when we shake hands somebody, we feel very good because we are acknowledged. So in massage, you get a lot of your physical strokes, and that has a great impact on feeling emotionally very good. The other one is sleep. I think good amount of sleep is very important. 6 to 8 hours of sound sleep can be very helpful. And and last but not least that comes to my mind is listen to some soft music or upbeat music depending on your mood. Listening to healing music or meditative or hypnosis or mindfulness audio files are very powerful to release stress and create more positivity in you. So these are some ways you could increase dopamine naturally. I hope that helps, Ekta.
Certainly, Paris. You mentioned about food, about like eggs. You spoke about protein intake specifically, exercise, meditate, listen to music, and yeah, good amount of sleep. So thank you so much. I'm going to keep that in mind. So over to you, Paris. Let's move ahead. And yes, we have Rizma here. She said hi to both of us.
Hello.
And we have Surekha who mentioned, yes, with old and toddler looks different for a few years. I understand that, Surekha, you are enjoying your motherhood. And Shalaka has mentioned time heals everything. Or does what we do over time heals? Or what do we do over time heals? I didn't understand the question quite. So let's move on with our today's discussion. Paris. We can address it later.
Sure. So thank you for being here so far with us. Now I'd like to talk about rejections in relationship. And there we go with different movies. I think what movie comes to your mind when in that movie you saw rejection, you saw that, okay, this is my lovely actress or actor is feeling rejected. So one of the movie that comes to my mind is Dil To Pagal Hai, where Karishma Kapoor feels completely rejected for that moment when he chooses somebody else, or Shah Rukh Khan being not available for her, doesn't see the way she is seeing him. So it really pains in that movie, and many people who felt some sort of discomfort while watching it, felt moved by that particular acting, is not just because of that movie, because it's somewhere in your relationships. You could have experienced it. So rejection in relationships can come from various people in our lives. So one that I spoke to you was about lovey-dovey relationship, but it can also come from our friends. It can come from a romantic partner, or an established relationship, could be a living relationship or a marriage. So rejection has a very deep emotional discomfort when it comes to partnership or with your loved ones. Rejection relationship may also occur when a potential romantic partner is not ready for certain milestones in the whole equation, or when a person has a certain set of expectations from you which are extremely different from your expectation from that person, and that sort of misequation creates a lot of dissonance and creates a lot of feeling of being rejected. Rejection may also occur in friendships or relationships due to increased differences or distance. I remember one of my friends calling me, telling me that, okay, it's been 2 months and this COVID-19 for us. You don't care about me, my family, you didn't even bother to talk to me. And I literally said, okay, I'm sorry. I think I missed out. And I really felt genuinely, because it's a very good friend of mine. But then later on realized that, okay, that's the feeling. I could have got angry, I could have got upset and said that, hey, even I'm going through the same thing. But at that moment, my friend just needed me to hold that space. Maybe that was not the question for him. That was something to relate, just, hey, we've been friends, we need to talk. So sometimes may also be feeling rejection can come from two individuals and not being on the same page at the same time while dealing with an issue. So there are multiple ways a person may feel rejected. One is a friend zone. So the friend zone, to understand easily, is that the movie Hantum may be a very interesting movie where the Saif Ali Khan and Rani Mukherjee, one looks at it, or Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, where Kajol looks at Shah Rukh Khan more than a friend, and Shah Rukh Khan looks at her as just a friend, and she feels so rejected at regular intervals because that's her need which is not met, because that's gone ahead of that friend zone that they're into. So romantic feelings may often pop up in friendships, and only to be let down by this friend zone. The friend zone is often a space where one amongst the two holds romantic, where the other limits it to just friendship. Sounds familiar? A known territory? Good to learn the sexual orientation. It is normal to feel sexually attracted to someone without knowing the other person's orientation. Sharing different sexual orientations may bring upon a sense of feeling rejected or deception. Or commitment issues, like I am not sure whether I really want to get married, and the other person is building castle in the air and saying, okay, what we're going to do after the marriage. That leads to the other person feeling rejected, and hey, I'm not ready. And you committed, or we were just going along with this relationship. And this could also be coming from not committing to a relationship. It could be coming from their own traumas or family history, or the way they have perceived their to be. Or a hookup culture. Maybe two people meet, they come for sex, they enjoy the sex, and after time, one of them gets really emotionally get hooked, wanting to more than just a living relationship or a need base of sex. It could be want to be having in my life, and that gets up into conflict and sense of rejection. And a deeper one comes with trust issues, maybe even with prevalent romantic aspiration between two individuals. Rejections may be brought upon by trust issues, traumatic experiences. If men or women have not okay feelings, not experiences about relationships, or may have a fear to relationship or get into a long-lasting relationship, the person has been rejected. So there are a lot of things which can actually make the person feel not okay and feels a sense of rejection, dejection. Now, how do we get this going? Because this is too difficult for us. This is like it's like the Lambi Jada song that we hear, and we tend to heal ourselves. Actually, we don't heal ourselves, we go worst, because we tend to remember them more and more. So what are the strategies? These solutions, you may not be very happy because they may not really connect. You disconnect because you really love that partner, that person, that friend. It could be anybody. So one of the solutions that you can a relationship rejection could be no contact with that person. If you feel that your partner has rejected you and it's a romantic relationship which is into some sort of conclusion, to take that break, getting into touch with that person. If the person is already no and we don't want to progress further, it hurts badly, but it is worse when you go and try at regular intervals and want to have that little dialogue, that little WhatsApp status checking or Facebook checking and all that things that we do. Trust me, the no contact will help us to get out of sight and out mind. When you do not see that person, good because you're away from it. And when you just close that contact, it's like you going away and your brain is learning time. Or even the other one comes to the very interesting movie, which is Job We Met, where a lot of movie time today. This rejection topic connected me a lot of metaphors to share with you and the best ways to relate to. So the second one that comes is the Job We Met, where he's in love with this girl and he holds a photo of her and said, okay, just flush it out. And that's my solution to all of you, is just get rid of memories that they can objects that trigger certain memories. Just get rid of those objects. Could be gifts, mementos, postcards, love letters, emails. Just delete, because that will you to heal. To heal. The more you are close to those things and you hold them, you don't move ahead, feel more rejected, and you go downwards, feeling rejected and dejected. And then it may conclude anger and many other maladaptive ways to deal with reality. The third one, I feel busy. The moment you're busy, you're occupied. An empty mind is devil's workshop, or an empty is filled with devil ideas. The devil idea is not helping you to grow, it's making you miserable. Do a time structuring. What all things that you do in a whole day that can keep you busy to cope with that situation better, because you're engaged in certain work, your focus changes. The moment it changes, your brain is going to create ideas to help you to focus there. Or friends come first. Yeah, think about some friends, but don't dump with your thoughts. Think about them, talk to them. If they're comfortable, just spend time with them. Maybe some friends you like to talk, maybe some friends you don't want to talk. You just want to spend time going out, watching a movie, walking, or accessing some memories of childhood or college, or maybe in your office memories. Could be anything that is very good, but it's there. But remember that to not dump your emotional space on them, because they may know how to handle it. To a particular point, they can be with you. Or also talk to your family or loved ones, somebody whom you feel can help you, guide you. Or get involved in novel things like doing some hobbies, or painting, dancing, or playing some videos, but doing multiple things which can make you feel more happy. Remember, when you're happy, your happiness increases in your body, dopamine level in your body also increases, so which is a good sign for you to keep going. Now I would like to move from relationship rejection to self-rejection. Yeah, that's something which is really, and I would like to awareness that you're very safe here. And as you're listening to it, you're going to get more confidence to deal with it and empathize with your own self. It often occurred as a result of continuous exposure. So maybe in your early childhood, you were a naughty brat, or had the feeling of I'm not good enough, I need to do more, or I have to please my family, my teacher, I have to be in good books, or I'm very naughty because nobody cares for me, so I don't go along very well with others. So I tend to fight. I tend to create this nonsense things around me so that I can, or I end up hearing these messages that you're not good enough, or you're always like this. And these thoughts in our life hold and cage us, cage our whole brain, hijacks the whole brain to think differently. There are a lot of self-doubt about ourselves, that am I good enough, or am I a good child, or am I a good person? Constant need comes in here that I need to be good to everybody. I need to be nice one because I feel internally I'm not okay. While the whole environment is okay. So self-rejection has a lot of beliefs about ourselves which do not help us to grow, and over a period of time, it ends up feeling miserable about ourselves. But on the other end, if you look at self-rejection, it's the opposite to self-acceptance. Okay, yes, but it takes a lot of time, courage, effort, and knowledge and practice. So when we look at self-acceptance, is to how do we accept us the way we are and channel ourselves to what we want to become. Remember, the power of now is what in us, what we want to create in this moment. Maybe watching this voice of mine, or thinking or taking a call today that I want to change. That little internal critical voice which tells me that I'm not good enough, or I can't self, because this has a lot of impact on the way we see our world, the way we trust ourselves, and the way we trust our world. So, to overcome self-rejection, one of the ways to begin is self-acceptance. So, some of the ways to work on self-acceptance is to understand about this critical, weirdy, demon voice that tells me, I want to tell myself that's not true. That's a part of me which believes that because of the past memory, past values, past thoughts that and put in myself without my permission, without my awareness. How can I really look at that to voice and to tell myself that I'm good enough? Or sometimes rejection can also lead to loss of confidence. Confidence in communicating in public, confidence in relationship, confidence in talking. Maybe one may tend to just feel always that I'm not good enough, or feel nobody will like me, or everybody out there hate me, or I don't like myself, but if others like me, then there's all things can be really sorted if you're able to honor yourself, work on yourself. Some of the other ways that I could think about is to create your own, be grateful, show gratitude to yourself, because you are not alone there who's going through this. There are many people in the world who have feelings about themselves, but we can change. We have the power. We have the brain is resourceful. We can create this. We can destroy this. We can recreate this, because creation and destruction is in my hands. I want to create good things for myself to grow. So if I'm looking at self-rejection, is to first create a mantra, like an affirmation or something, and talk to myself that I'm good and I'm grateful to myself for being born here. And also acknowledge some good things that you've been doing in your life. Also, another solution could be sunlight. Yeah, today it's evening, but maybe someplace universe could be a day. So maybe tomorrow morning, walk on the sunlight, spend some time and the sun, because sun energy is so powerful. And nothing less than smile. At least right now, if you're watching me, just smile, feel that feeling about, hey, I'm good and I'm great and I'm the way. So when you smile, you're making two people happy. One is your own self, and the other who may be looking at you as a source of hope. Exercise shared with you can also help you to overcome self-rejection. Not only meditation, but also self-reflecting. And the more important thing that I feel, as I told you at the beginning of our session, not self-stroking. Rather than wait for Christmas to come and other people in the world to tell me how good you are, start stroking. And you will find the best version of you emerging. Because the best version of you is not dependent on the other person, it's dependent on you. So that's something which comes to my mind about how do we overcome self-rejections and find different strategies and recover. So Ekta, let's pause here for a while and let me check how are we going so far.
Oh, we're going great. Absolutely super, Paris. So far, what I understand, I've been listening very carefully to you. You spoke about, you address familial rejection. You did mention about rejection from, how to overcome or how to deal with rejection in relationship. And at the same time, very, very crucial one that you spoke about was self-rejection. As you were talking about self-rejection and you spoke about self-stroking, if I'm not wrong. So I, what came to my mind was we were discussing a couple of days ago about stroke economy and how much we tend to, miss on appreciating our own selves or accounting our own selves. We tend to discount a lot. We don't appreciate what is good in us. And specifically accounting self, it plays a vital role in increasing our own self confidence, and it helps in raising our self esteem, if I'm not wrong. So very, very powerful insights, Paris. I that you're relating to a lot of movies. What comes to my mind is my apni favorite food.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a powerful stroke, Ekta, and I feel maybe in our childhood, there is no chapter in the book in our schools where it talks about stroking others rather than stroking self is very important. I think I have not yet seen a syllabus which says that can you stroke yourself? Can you make yourself feel good? And maybe that's we need to educate ourselves. I think, and I like the dialogue of that movie again that may refer to is one of the powerful statements. People may just feel it very much like a like in a joke or something, but this is a very important stroke. Or this movie, Three Idiots, is all is well. I think Louis Hay affirmations are one of the powerful ways to self-stroking. So you can create these strokes and heal yourself better.
Yeah, what comes to me is self acceptance and self care is that that plays a vital role here. So fantastic, Paris. We do have a question from Nilesh Shinde. He has mentioned. Can I quickly go through that? How
Sure,
to
sure.
handle situation when rejection comes because of a low level of understanding from the person.
Yeah, and really relate to this question when the other person is not able to relate to you, or you feel that the person is not able to understand you. It's hard, but I think a couple of things that I shared earlier, also I would like to just reinstate that again, is have an open communication or talk to them and share. Like late Stephen Covey talks about the stick theory. He holds a big stick in the hand and says that, okay, you hold that in your hand and you will talk and you will share, and we will not interrupt you unless you feel you're hurt. And then give it to the other person and see whether if that could be a way to make that thing work. Remember, one way when we say that the other person is low on understanding can be our own myth. Can be maybe do I need to take that courage to tell that person to give a feedback, to communicate, or maybe I need to unlearn my style of communication with them. So there are multiple ways we can explore this. Another way around is to explore a self-help book to each other and take little lessons and understand whether that works. Or a heart-to-heart conversation can be also a brilliant way to begin. And I understand, Leish, sometimes it is very difficult with certain people, but we can always make it happen because we want to make it happen. Because we want that person in our life. We want ourselves to enjoy with that person. We're committed to a relationship and we want that to get going. So maybe that's another thought that comes to my mind at this moment, but there could be many more. We could think about it. I can again relate to it and share some more.
Beautiful, Paris. What I understand is communication is door. Okay, so here's a quick one. I received it on the messenger. So just give me a moment. I'm just opening the question. It says, how do men and women deal with rejection differently? I want to understand this. So over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Ekta. I think I would like to first talk about the first word that comes to my mind is culture, conditioning, and gender. Yeah, I think culture plays a very vital role in forming certain norms about how a gender need to operate. Okay, and those gender has certain etiquette to emote, to express. Like as men tend to bottle their emotions, and women tend to become very emotional while handling rejections. This can also come back from our family system. Maybe how have you been defined the men and women, or the gender or gender fluidity in your family system? How did you perceive? How were men and women perceived in the house, in the society, in the school? Like I remember, if you cry, you're a little girl, and if you're a boy and if you're crying, you're immediately being cornered and laughed and shamed on the same. So our social conditioning has a direct impact on the way we express. Okay, the key word is how we express our feeling of being rejected. While women, if she is too bold and she's too notorious, she may be pulled at a don't be like a tomboy. So this, if you listen to these messages, they have that underlying confirmation that men are supposed to be this and women are supposed to be this, and that's the way they need to function in order to balance the dysfunctional homeostasis. So these social images have traditionally and subconsciously imposed certain emotional expectations out of each, due to which, even though they may have similar feelings, they are going through similar experiences and similar thoughts or events, but their expression varies a lot more. Men tend to hold it, bottle it up, and women tend to experience it, express it out. Both of them also have this pros and cons with that in context to anger management due to bottling up. Maybe due to social conditioning, man could just lash out while dealing with rejection, while women seem to uh, get a little bit better way of containing themselves in their self and channelizing their emotions. With men, they could get into unnecessary fights and anger and irritability as well. The other aspect that I want to share with you, Ekta, here is about the challenge or not. Men often take rejection as a challenge because of their masculinity or an insult to their expected place in the social hierarchy. So if you think about some events that goes not okay, like if you've watched the movies where they throw acids and other things, become more homicidal, okay, because that's where the extreme, maladaptive behavior could be harming somebody, like somebody challenging, or in a very very low continent could be getting angry and drinking and smoking and into many other things that could end up doing it. While women too feel challenged to get better and push to this phase, but the expressions are often very, very different for women. Women may look at a challenge from a very different space altogether. Not necessarily they could be very, as they have a better way, as they have permission to express themselves. Their ability to hold the rejection is much better than men, I feel. Hope that answers your query, though.
Oh, it was quite a detailed one, Paris. You mentioned over about the societal angle, the personal angle, the way we have been born and brought up, and a lot of things. Thank you so much. Let's quickly go to today's discussion.
Sure. Now I would like to, talk a little bit about the outside world, and here I want to bring about social rejection. Yeah, this would be very painful because this is like we may witness shame, we may witness guilt, we may witness that, okay, it may directly impact our identity. Am I doing good enough? Am I the right to fit here? Okay, so social rejections takes place when an individual is deliberately cast out or excluded or abandoned or left out from a social group or relationships and interactions with people. And maybe you may think about certain events that happen in your college life, school life, where you were not invited for a birthday party, you were not invited for an event, you're not invited for a movie watching or sleepovers. Could be many things. And that feels very rejected because it's not just happening between you and your family or something. It's happening, you experience it as a group. And a group plays a very vital role for, the social groups plays a very vital role because there are different groups and which help us to feed us with positive strokes and conditionally and unconditionally. But when these groups go against or ganging up, has a lot of impact. I have worked with, in my private practice, I worked with so many people who joined different groups, felt excluded, felt ganged up, felt emotionally being taken for granted or emotionally played, making them feel completely not good, doubting themselves. There's so many of them. Even I myself have been to certain groups that I chose to walk out when I realized it's not helping me to grow. But but having that background of mental health helped me. But trust me, that feeling at that moment is not changing. It is still that feeling of discomfort there. And there are many reasons. It's not just people are doing intentionally because maybe you're a newbie, maybe you're a new person joining a college or an organization or a position maybe in your company where the other person has been an amazing leader, or maybe you're new in the building or society where people don't know you and there are a lot of cultural differences. Maybe your habits, your eating style, could be anything. Or maybe poles apart when a person has completely different culture and you come from a very different background, maybe creating that kind of bummer on the roads and feeling that, okay, I don't belong here. So I remember being, when I was in San Francisco and being an Indian, money as we value as Lord Lakshmi, Goddess Lakshmi. And I realized that our our homeowner, where we were renting out, she said that why don't you put that money on the shoes, the shoes there. Why just you put the money out there for cleaning? And we were like, oh no, this doesn't work. We're disrespecting, and this could be one of the ways I would feel disconnect from that person. So that's another way we could look at feeling not okay because of the culture differences. Or on a very different note, if a person seemingly is different from socially accepted norms and forms, for instance, being a member of a queer family, no matter how harsh this sounds, are often looked down upon in our society. People make fun, people have serious discrimination, and it makes them feel maybe in a form, and they end up bullying, silent treatment, or also being ganging against them. Also, social distancing. I think social rejection has also become an increasingly difficult problem with the onset of COVID-19, the pandemic situation. We all human beings love, I miss my Starbucks coffee for the so many months where I could like to sit with and enjoy that environment around people there. Maybe I don't connect to them, but I feel connected when people are around me. So we human beings are inherently social beings and used to regular interactions with people around us. But we tend to gather, during festivals or events like Ganpati celebration, Diwali, Holi, Christmas could be. So there's so many festivals in our country, and maybe from an Asian lens, if I look at it, having people around makes us feel comfortable. Just 3 months ago, I realized that I'm not able to meet my friends. I'm not able to meet friends who are just right across my society, just because the social distancing is there and there's so much of risk. So with social distancing being a new normal today, people are often refraining from mass gathering, and that is leading to feeling more rejected. So what is the solution, or how do we really work that out? So maybe the first thing that I would like you to recover is to feel yourself how you're feeling. Instead of bottling up your emotions and burying them deep within, allow yourself to feel the emotion that you're experiencing, and don't hold that, it will go. or spend time with people who accept you. Maybe many times in some certain groups don't like you. It's fine. But there are a lot of groups also like me. Can I be with them who acknowledge me, who like me, who enjoys my company? So rather than getting into a game of being kicked or finding groups which will kick me, turn the table around to the groups that welcome you. Practice self-love and self-care. I think that's one of the very simplest way to heal yourself when you are feeling casted out or when you feel you've been not welcome in a particular group. So one of the serials in Netflix is the serial of The Elite is a very beautiful to understand about the groups and the dynamics. So if you get a chance to watch that. So now let's move to the final part of this topic. I'm sure I'm taking more than an hour now for you. So maybe let me make it very quick. But this is critical. So if you get some time, if you have some questions, do post it right away or even later. How do we handle rejections at the workplace? Yeah, that's because work is worship. I'm a man, I like to work, I go in an organization, I have good number of people reporting to me, I feel so amazing. And now there is a change management happening and people are moving out. I have to tell people to resign. And this whole thing that I was enjoying now, I don't have all of them. People don't look at me very nicely. If I have to call them, they will feel, are you going to take me out of the company or something like that? So rejection at workplace can be creating a lot of stress, anxiety, pressure, leading to digestion issues, hair fall, blood sugar rising, BP, and acidity. So there are so many things. So after a certain point of time in our lives, remember, our workplace becomes inseparable part of our lives. And rejection from a workplace can create a lot of feeling of not okayness because we spend almost 10, 12 hours of our time a day into 10 months or 12 months, 11 months we work in that company. So there could be many other factors like acceptability, whether if you're accepted or not in the organization, whether how are you welcome in the organization, or there is no appreciation, or there is lack of appreciation in the company itself, where your boss doesn't appreciate you. You've done a lot of hard work. You really got and built a good network and created that and made it happen. But there's no appreciation. Feeling rejected, feeling dejected. Hey, whatever I do, they don't appreciate me. Or being criticized in public, maybe in meetings, or you're presenting something, maybe you are having certain frame of reference and the other reject that. Maybe that could be a feeling of not okayness or expectations mismatch between you and your boss or your subordinates or your colleague or cross-functional team, or not all the team members are on the same page. So how do we really work this out? How do we really work in an organization setup if one feels rejected? What we could do? One of the best ways to start with is to pep up your courage. Tell that inner critical voice that you're wrong. There are a lot of people out here who like me and I would like to work with them. Acknowledge that rejection at workplace and also understand that sometimes these rejections can be good for you because they are telling you some message which you're not learning. So identify the root cause of the message rather than judging the behavior of the person. Understand the intention behind the behavior. Ask for regular feedback. There is no harm. A little learning and self-reflection can do wonders. Most importantly, for the corporates that I recommend people is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the need of the hour today because it does not only include meditation, but also a lot of self-reflective conversations where you are questioning, you are experiencing, you are exploring your emotions, thoughts, beliefs, how it's impacting your current reality. So you're always in a mindful state of holding everything with you while connecting with people. The most important in corporates, and also in regular life, is rest your ego. The one thing that in your life that does not allow you to grow as you grow physically, chronologically, mentally, spiritually, psychologically, there's a one part of you which grows opposite, is your ego. The more it becomes younger, it's more detrimental. So we all have a certain magnitude of ego which we dearly hold on to and set our boundaries and our self-image with that. However, in order to heal that, it's necessary to send your ego for a vacation trip and relax and enjoy conversation. And the last one that I want to share with you is respect. Practicing respect for oneself and for the other not only helps you to get an improved self-image and worth, but it also acts wonders with personal equations with others. So these are few things and many more in the blog that I will be sharing very shortly. Ekta will be announcing that very soon. So remember, rejection, as harsh as it may sound, as bad a toll it may take on you, you can overcome it. It is important to be with right people and take the right steps while coping with negations. You may also want to consult a professional or join the self-help group and reach out to support networks who can be with you in this tough time. Remember, a tough time never lasts, but tough people like you can do it. So to overcome rejection, my final word is to think about self-acceptance. So thank you. You've been listening to me for a long with a lot of patience. I invite Ekta to take it over.
I feel like a magician when you invite me. I'm just right there before that. So we are moving on towards the closure of our session. I know it's been really, really long, but yes, there were a lot of insights. You spoke about rejection in detail. You spoke about familial rejections. You spoke about rejection in relationships, rejection at social level, at professional level. It was fantastic. You also mentioned about how do we deal with rejection. That is something which is very, very important because, the questions like, am I good enough? Why me? All of those could be catered with the tips that you shared. And like Paris mentioned, yes, we would be sharing, whatever information that he has been sharing with us on live today, he would be also sharing it in the form of vlogs in the coming weeks. So you can stay tuned and you can, get all of those details on our website. That is www.mentalstrengthprofessional.com. So we are on the closure of our session, Paris. Thank you so much for touching these, pressing issues. Just a quick highlight. We have our, a quick reminder, the Carl Jung Personality Assessment is available. It is absolutely free till 15th of September 2020. And you can get an access to this assessment until 15th of September, absolutely free. And it is available on our portal, that is www.psychometricassessments.com, assessment with an S. That is very, very important. Also, to schedule a session with Dr. Paras or any of our mental strength professional, you can log on to our website, which is mentioned on the screen. You can see it on the screen. At the same time, if you want to get in touch with us, you can call us on +91 is the country code, and the number is 8260-112233. And in case of any queries or any questions that you feel after watching the session, you can write it to us. Our email address is right there, info@mentalstrengthprofessional.com. We try and answer as quickly as possible, and we'll try our best to get back to you on that. Also, like Paris mentioned, we will be sharing our blogs and also tips in the form of videos, mostly by tomorrow and the coming week. So yes, we are on the top of the hour. I'm closing the session. Thank you so much for watching us live, and very, very important that you guys have really been patient and showering your blessings and your love by being there with us. So for more knowledge series and updates, you can, follow us on our Facebook page and Insta handle, that is Mental Strength Professional. Alternately, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Dr. Paras. So that's all from me. That's all from Dr. Paras. Thank you so much for your patience, everyone. And you all have a lovely evening ahead. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ekta. And thank you, everybody. Lots of love.
Thank you, everyone, for watching us live. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks, Paris. Bye.